on radio, on YouTube, and on your smartphone. This is TTUTA Speaks. We invite all listeners to tune into I-95.5 every Thursday morning at approximately 7:25 for TTUTA Speaks, a program which highlights local, regional, and international issues affecting the education sector. Good morning, everyone. This is the segment TTUTA Speaks, and I am your presenter, Barry Joel Desaine. Crime, violence, juvenile delinquency, poverty, corruption, immorality, and racism are some of the social problems of concern to many law-abiding citizens today. It is argued that these challenges are the culmination of ineffective and impotent leadership over decades. In today's society, people generally expect government to adequately control and find solutions to social issues, but this was not always so. In antiquity, finding solutions to social dilemmas was the domain of a small group of intellectual thinkers we now call philosophers. In those times, social change was accepted to be a slow process which was essentially driven by sound philosophical thought rather than political influence. Since philosophy determines goals and goals determine methods, it follows that unresolved problems are largely due to the use of irrelevant strategies that are based on faulty assumptions and beliefs. This applies to all disciplines, including education. The underlying assumptions and beliefs about education influence goals and the strategies used to achieve them. As such, the degree to which an education system is successful is ultimately based on the relevance of its philosophy. Several prominent individuals have spoken about the shortcomings of our education system and the need for meaningful change. For example, in 2012, educational specialist Dr. Paula Marks described our education system as a train with failed brakes that is hurtling downhill at breakneck speed in need of comprehensive re-engineering and reculturing. In more recent years, former presidents Anthony Carmona and his successor Paula Mayweeks, as well as Professor Ramesh Devsaran, have all called for an overhaul of the education system. The Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association has also advocated for reform of the education system on several occasions. It is noteworthy that our system of education emerged from the era of British colonialism, and so too our assumptions and beliefs about education. With the adopted Cambridge model came a philosophy that was strongly influenced by early postmodernistic thought, in which education was viewed primarily as a means of certifying students for future employment. Even today, pupils are often encouraged by family members and teachers alike to study diligently to pass exams so they can be gainfully employed later in life. This inherited philosophy is a very myopic view of education. Its negative effects are many. These include a gross emphasis on academics at the expense of non-academic subjects such as music, art, dance, and drama. Very little regard for values education and addressing issues of morality. And it trains students to be self-centered competitors rather than synergistic collaborators, as value is placed more on their marks rather than their social development. Essentially, this philosophy stifles a much-needed culture of learning, as students from as early as the infant department in some schools are systematically trained to prepare for examination rather than to become lifelong learners. This inherited Cambridge postmodernistic philosophy of education, which was adopted by most of the Western world, differs significantly with that of its rival, Oxford. With traditions spanning almost 1,000 years, the Oxford model of education is based on a philosophical framework that emphasizes scholarship rather than certification. Education is viewed primarily as a means of optimizing learning to produce scholars who are capable of presenting viable solutions to social challenges. Consequently, methodologies employed are geared towards developing big-picture systems thinking, encouraging interdisciplinary studies, promoting creativity, and emphasizing collaborative, contextualized, and values-based learning. Education is therefore not seen merely as a means for employment, but as a lifelong learning process for ongoing human development. The contrast between the Cambridge and the Oxford philosophies of education, both of which are British, demonstrates how educational philosophy and its derived goals and methodologies can impact the outcome of an education system. Ultimately, any serious reform of our education system is impossible without first examining the relevance of our philosophy of education based on our local context and socio-cultural needs. As a professional body whose primary aim is to promote the cause of education, the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association stands ready to assist in the overhauling process with the aim of redesigning an education system that produces good, decent citizens who are concerned about society as much as they are of themselves. You have been listening to TTUTA Speaks. To contact us, please dial 610-3850. That's 610-3850. Or you may email our president at president@tuta.org. That's president@ttuta.org. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where recordings of interviews, events, and other materials are uploaded regularly. Like us by giving a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and subscribe.